Hello and welcome to the FATBOSS Guide to Will of the Emperor 25-man heroic in the Mogu'Shan vaults.
Yes, the last boss of this wonderful tier, and it's a bit of a ball ache still. It's better than normal though. It's a lot less boring than normal, but it's a lot really fucking hard.
It's very, very challenging.
So yeah, you're gonna struggle on this. Now, if you haven't seen the normal mode guide to this fight, then please do click up on the annotations, as we won't be covering each individual ability by like the old abilities on normal mode and stuff like that. So just go click up on them, and it'll save everyone a lot of time.
Now for this encounter, you want to bring 2 tanks, 5 healers, 2 DPS tanks,
which we covered in normal.
For the ads. The rest of the DPS, you can just use a mixed setup.
Now the changes in this fight, which there are quite a few of, we're going to start off with the Titan gas, which is the gas that fills the room, does ticking damage, and increases everyone's, including the boss's, melee damage by 25%. This is permanent. This is throughout the whole fight. You will have this fucking gas on the floor, so your healers are going to have to work harder, and everyone's going to be taking more damage.
The devastating combo is now a series of 10 spells rather than 5. However, the reward is now doubled.
Yes.
So rather than dealing 500k, you do 1 million.
Yes, which is very nice if you're any good at dodging that shit. Now, the main thing that has changed in this fight, though, is the Titan Sparks. Now, Titan Sparks spawn once an ad dies. Now, this spark will fixate on a random player and start to move towards them. And if it gets within 8 yards of any player, the spark will explode, doing 750k damage, and if there are any nearby constructs, it will give them a 50% attack speed buff, including the bosses. The bosses count as constructs. So that's not that good. This one mechanic really changes how you have to do the entire fight. So as we said, you do have to change the way you deal with every single ad, and first off, we're going to talk about the rages. Now with the rages, what you need to do is, of course, they spawn in sets of 4. Now for the first set that spawns, you want to CC all of them. All 4 of them need to be CC'd. And then when the next set spawns, so then you'll have 8 altogether, you want to AoE them. Now once they all die, they have to of course die away from the group, so you might want to use Death Knight mass scripts to shit, as long as they pop a cooldown so they won't get completely raped. As long as they all die at the same time, there'll be 8 sparks left. Now what you want to do, you want to have one person run in and soak all 8 sparks. Now what you should really do is use 3 hunters on a rotation to go in and to soak them all up. You only need 2 hunters. However, if one of your hunters doesn't manage to soak all of them up, then you always have that backup hunter to go soak up that one more, because otherwise it's going to run to your raid and kill everyone.
So it's as simple as CCing the first set, using things like Ring of Frost, AoE grip, stuff like that, just anything to keep them in place, keep them CC'd until the next set spawn. Now that there's 8 up, you just need to AoE the living shit out of them and send a hunter running in with deterrence.
Yes, practically.
Now the courages work exactly the same. 2 will still spawn at the exact same time on the left and the right hand side of the room, and they'll both focus the tank that's standing furthest away, just like normal mode. However, obviously because it is heroic, when they die a spark will still spawn, and you need to create some sort of rotation within your melee groups of who is soaking this. And really, if you can have only 2 people from each group, so 4 people in total doing the sparks, and that's brilliant, but you might not have the classes to actually do it. Rogues are great for it, monks are also really great for it, but you know, if you do need to use other people, you can use raid cooldowns from people like disc priests or people like that to cover it.
But it's ideal because rogues have they have Cloak of Shadows and Cheat Death as well, as long as they spec into those sort of things, so that can really work for this fight. Now one tactic for this as well is kind of a little bit cheeky, is referring to the 2 DPS tanks you have. Now what you want to make them do is actually go in tank spec. This will actually make it so the courages don't focus on the 2 tanks that are tanking the bosses. They'll actually go over towards the strength tanks. Now they can be in any gear, it doesn't matter, because the courages will die before they hit them, and they shouldn't be taking any damage from the strengths because they can avoid everything. This will make it so the ranged DPS can actually get easier DPS out on the courages, because of where they switch over, it just makes a lot more sense. As well as the sparks won't be spawning anywhere near the bosses, so there's no chance that the sparks are going to give the bosses a 50% attack speed buff. So you can do this tactic, and it doesn't really change much. Of course, there'll be a little bit less DPS on the strengths, but it shouldn't be really anything to worry about. But it's a very clever little thing you can do.
If
Yes.
you are having issues with the courages, then that is something that you should definitely try. Now, as for the strengths themselves, for this you kind of want to have 6 assigned soakers. You want to have 3 for each ad. Anyone who can soak, so yeah.
Yeah, you need to have a 2-minute cooldown, which you can soak the thing when it explodes. So once a strength dies, just make sure you're calling when it dies, and you can just go over there and pick it up. Now there are also points in the fight where the ads will stop spawning, and this is the times when the gas would have spawned in normal mode. Because of this, you can use this to your advantage in order to get more DPS out on the boss. Now the way that you do it is just make sure that if the rages that would have been there, they're either dead now or you have CC'd them. That just gives you a lot of uptime on the boss because it is a tight fight because of the soft enrage really, which is when the ads don't stop spawning. They just continuously spawn and you get fucked hard.
Yeah.
If you do hit this soft enrage, you haven't got long, but you can just say fuck the ads and then just try and nuke the shit out the boss.
Yeah, so you just want to be slowing all the ads and kiting them and doing all the CC you can possible on them while,
trying to nuke
the boss before all the ads murder you.
Yeah, but ideally you shouldn't hit that soft enrage.
So to cover up the fight, really, all it is just covering the sparks and just making sure that you have your rotation perfected, because it is a repetitive fight. However, it does become very, very tight, like we say. So that's pretty much it. Cover the sparks, make sure you deal with the ads properly, and you shouldn't have too many problems.
So thanks for watching, guys. If this guide did help you out, then please do give us a like. It helps us out significantly, and make sure to comment, rate and subscribe.
And if you'd like to see other 25-man heroic guides by FATBOSS, please do click up on the annotations you see on your screen now.
Good day.
Thanks for watching.
Yes.